Sticking with it, we're going to move from the NFL and go to the college ranks as Coach Prime has signed a new deal, man. And this one was kind of interesting, man. I found this one to be pretty cool. All right, so Coach Prime has signed a 5-year, $54 million extension, putting him in elite college football category as one of the highest paid coaches around Kirby Smart, Ryan Day, and Dabo Swinney, to just name a few out of Clemson. All right, Mr. BC, when you heard it was going to be a 5-year deal, what was your first thoughts?
I thought it was a bit much. I mean, don't get me wrong. I think that Dion definitely, again, when he signed with Colorado, it was like the same thing. He brings that swagger. He brings a culture change, a culture shift for sure in a school. And I think that that's something that's very underrated in sports today. But I would say the 5 years is a bit much. Like, Colorado was impressive this past season, but I feel like I want to see more out of these Coach Prime teams. I want to see them make a little bit more noise. I want to see them, actually do something a little bit more substantial before it's like, all right, 5 years, you're the guy.
Yeah.
That's a lot of time, a lot of money to commit to, dude. Especially one that hasn't even been in the college football playoffs. So I think, and again, for sure, you're rebuilding a program. It's not easy, but it's like I think giving him like a 3-year deal, again, would be something I'd be more comfortable doing. But again, he might, knowing Prime, he is very much, he's that guy, he's that coach. He's going to ask for that security. He's going to ask for the money. And it's like, that could be very well what he asked for. And again, don't blame him. Get your bag. But for me, I would have been a little bit more comfortable giving him another 3 years and be like, okay, let's, you've done a good job getting notoriety for the school, getting a culture shift. Now let's make this culture into a winning culture. Before I'd be like, yeah, you're a guy for the next 5-10 years. Easy.
Yeah, so my first initial reaction whenever I saw that he was a 5-year, $65 or $55 million, whatever it was, contract was, I want to know what the buyout is. Because I don't believe that he's sticking around for all 5 of these years at all, not to say it at all. I think he needed to do something to keep him in Colorado so that it doesn't look like I just followed my son because it's where he went from Jackson State all the way over to Colorado, brought his kids with him, and brought Travis Hunter, and they were great. Having said that, I don't buy that he's actually sticking around for those 5 years, whether it's another team, because let's face it, Colorado is not going to be winning, and borderline probably not even cracking the college football playoffs. Not even going to be probably even winning the Big 12. So I don't believe that he's sticking around for these 5 years at all. I want to know what it's going to take to get him out. And I also want to know what it's going to take for him to get to Dallas, because I think that's ultimately where it's going to be. I think he had to all of a sudden stick around for 1 year, maybe 2, so that it doesn't look like he's just following his son around. And then let's face it, the Cowboys just hired Schottenheimer, who everybody was kind of scratching their head like, are you serious right now? So it gives Jerry Jones a little bit of time, saying that we weren't just going after Dion, that we also had a backup plan, and then let's face it, it's going to be Deion Sanders. But this does stick around. I do think that this does work pretty well for college because Deion's brash, Deion's loud, and Deion is I'm not going to say he's not a good coach by any stretch, and it's not all about his son. He has made some really good moves, and he's brought a lot of attention to Colorado, which is exactly what a head coach is supposed to do. He's, like I was saying before, he's brash and loud, but he also does bring some X and O's to the game. Colorado was in most of those games. Now, their defense was kind of bad last year, and that's why they were in a lot of shootouts, and it kind of padded Shedor's stats a little bit because he had to throw so much to be able to get back in. But he kind of fits the college mold because it's all about the NIL right now, and then bringing players in. And Prime goes out above and beyond to get that NIL kid that, hey, I'm flashy, I understand you. He's older, but he all of a sudden seems very young. And when it comes to these kids, he knows how to stay relevant. He knows how to still look cool, even though he's not young. He hasn't played for many years. I want to say he's in his mid-50s, early 60s, somewhere in there. But he just has a cool factor to him still, and kids relate to that stuff. He always seems trendy. Their social media people has been smart in making him seem bigger than life and making them seem like he is still, 21 years old and just stepped off the field.
Well, and again, we were talking about with John Harbaugh how he relates to his players at that age. It's even more important in collegiate ranks to be able to relate to your players because they're so young, they're so impressionable still. Yep. And again, to have a coach that is as loud and he does relate to this generation, I think, really well for his age, and he's also very personable as well. Like, he takes the time to get to know you. He takes the time to sit down and talk with you, and on top of that, he wants. It's not just sitting down and just doing like, oh yeah, we're reading over. We're thinking great. No, like when he goes out to get a player, he wants that player. He
Yeah,
goes and gives full effort. And as a young person, to have somebody with that notoriety, that fame, that stature, to be like, wow, he sees something in me and he wants me to be a part of what he's building. Like that's very underrated to be able to bring in. So again, I'm not knocking him. I'm not knocking him as ability to bring in players and to build a culture and everything. Like that's he probably the best in college football at doing that. The main thing now is what I want to see with his evolution and everything as a coach is, all right, now how do we translate that ability to relate to players to winning games,
yes,
formulating a strategy, and being able to execute on the field? Because talent and culture can only take you so far. If you can't execute and if you can't
correct.
go out there and deliver on Saturday, then it's all talk, for
Yeah,
better
it's
or
all for
worse.
nothing. It doesn't matter.
So, but
Yeah, no, I agree. And what Dion always can always fall back on, and there's no denying it, no flat there, no one can say he is one of the greatest football players of all time. I
oh
mean,
yeah,
there's no debates, there's no, you bring up Dion, you can't be like, oh, he was overrated. Absolutely not. The guy was a two athlete sport, probably could have played basketball too, who the hell knows, like the guy was just athletic as hell, and when he was on every Sunday, every Saturday, he brought it. Still one of the
oh
best
yeah,
Florida State players of all time. There's not much you can say that takes away from his actual football knowledge and football skill.
yeah.
When it comes to coaching, I think it's a little bit TBD because, like we were saying before, he's been able to fall back on that. He had his son that's really good. He had Travis Hunter. These next 2 seasons, I feel like are really going to show, does this guy really know what the hell he's doing, or was it the fact that he has had some really good athletes that he was able to find and bring with him? So
Correct.
I think it's going to be very interesting, and the whole Prime brand will be a major thing going forward for Colorado. But like I was saying before, I tend to think that this is more of just until something bigger and better comes along, because Colorado's not going to be fighting for the championship anytime soon.
Exactly.
Yeah, I totally agree with you though, and I feel like college is the only sport that does this, where they give you a long extension for nothing. Like, there's no reason why you have to give a 5-year, 10-year deal, and it never works out in college. Like, I totally agree with what you're saying. Why not a 3-year deal?
Oh, I was saying
Yeah,
like, unless you're Nick Saban, it's very rare that stuff works.
correct. Yeah,
You got to be able to prove yourself as a difference maker. And again, we're not trying to bash on Coach Prime. I love what he's done for the
no.
culture, but now it's time to see what he does on the field.
Yeah, and I think like I was saying, these next 2 seasons are the seasons where, are you actually a good coach, or did you just have some star athletes that made you look really good?
Yeah, time to find out. Prime time, baby.
Prime time. Here we go.